Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Hardspace Shipbreaker. So, especially on the last episode, but the past few where we've been playing with these ghost ships, I appreciate all the feedback and the comments. People just giving their honest sort of thoughts. It's good. For the most part, everyone's quite civil on the channel. We'd like to keep it that way. But I think the consensus is with me, at the very least, that let's say it was a good first effort of them trying something different to the core gameplay, but we're not really big fan here of the way the ghost ship thing worked out. It's cool, it's interesting, but in execution it detracts heavily from the gameplay loop. It was good to see that I'm like, not that I want to live in an echo chamber, but that my thoughts on it were, you know, not controversial hot takes. Most other people felt the same, that it really does. It takes a chunk out of the clock to go pixel hunting in a game that's about essentially racing the clock and sort of spatial navigation and reasoning. It's a totally different gameplay loop. So good for them for being brave enough to try something different, and I look forward to the next event, next you know, outside of the box thing that they try. And hopefully it's actually good next time, you know, and I think that's probably my honest sort of response on it. So I'm not going to bash them too hard because I don't like it. I'm just more happy that they're trying something when that's sort of not encouraged in the gameplay industry, especially when you're an established. They're not AAA, but they're definitely, you know, they've got this corner of the market covered. It would make sense to just rinse and repeat and do the same thing over and over again. So good for them for doing something different. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our roots a bit. We do have the new salvage ships. If we can find one, there it is there. The Benoit Star Cruiser. So what we might do is, oh wow, we got a few. I'm gonna sort of dig back into trying to get money, as much money in a shift as we can. Basically, that's sort of the core principle that we were looking at. I'm not really interested in the sort of whole buffalo, and as we said time and time again, it just works out better if you gut it for one shift and move on. The whole buffalo are for the anal retentive types that have an idiosyncrasy that need to collect 100%, and that's fine. Fill your boots, get your pleasure where you can, but this game is about salvaging the high value resources. And it's always interesting. You do get some people, I'm not trying to bash, but they'll be like, oh yeah, but you can get X dollars over 3 shifts. And it's like, you just do the math, and it's always worse than pulling the reactor and making the most of one shift. So that's the last I'll say on it, basically. So we're going back to single shift scrambles to try and get as much out as we possibly sort of can. That's where it all started, and then, you know, that's why we got into the sort of theory of the glue physics and all that. So what we're going to do here is straight in. Now, we're not obviously going to be able to go that fast, but what we want to do is pull the core as fast as possible, right? Now, the big problem with this particular type of ship is this fucking airlock, right? Because it's a three-way pain in the ass sort of thing, right? So I wonder that the other wrinkle to all of this is that the ship is a salvage ship. So it's got all sorts of like random bits of shit, which I embrace this. So I really want to, we should still be able to kidney pull through here, right? But I'm thinking embracing controlling explosive decompression has never been more important, because trying to vent the whole ship via the airlock is a fucking nightmare scenario, right? So I think we're just gonna start doing stuff like this. Oh god, what happened then? I sort of lost control of my character. Well, there we go, the reactors started melting down. So what happened here? The coolant line busted, I suppose. Okay. Well, that's not ideal. Can we, can you just restart from here? Abandon shift? Can I do something like that? Oh, look, it's just desktops? Oh, I didn't know there was an Alt F4 fucking sook maneuver. God, I hope none of you who watch this do that. We don't want to associate with those sort of people. I only just did that. Oh, look at this. I've lost my audio as well. Wonderful. Let's just reboot it. Yeah, you don't want to be that person, you know. Oh, it didn't work out for me, trying to mitigate the loss. I like that in this game that you do cop a loss. We'll just keep this running. Like, you know, you can go in and experiment. Next time what I'll do is go straight back to the docking bay and just take the wages lost for the day. Do you know what I mean? That makes sense to me. That's a shame. That's a shame it didn't dock us. Give me my... I don't know why it's been doing this since the last update. It's been doing some weird stuff with me mouse pointer and that when you load in. Anyway. Alright, let's try that again. So... I'm not even sure what... Like, we saw coolant pop. We know that much for sure. But I'm not even sure what went really wrong there. But I guess let's start by triangulating the coolant line. We will find a safe way to decompress. You know what? Maybe even up the front of the ship might be the go. I mean, there is coolant here, you know. So there's your coolant line. So if anything, I should probably favour this side. Okay. We'll crack this nut. We'll figure it out. Maybe through this hatch? Let's try it.
Your pressure level salvage destroyed. Please refrain from damaging salvage.
Something's on fire. What's doing that? Not really clear. Oh, well, that seemed to do it. Alright, well, we'll go with that for the time being, you know?
Salvage destroyed. Please revisit your training.
Right. I'm gonna rip this as fast as we can. Then we zip down here.
Valuable component generated. Penalty has been applied. Reactor meltdown sequence triggered. Urgent action required.
Alright, there we go. So the kiddie pull worked alright there, so the venting on the other side was interesting. We'll see if that's a repeatable thing that we can do next time. Now, what's probably the next most valuable thing? The thrusters are definitely up there, but I would almost argue that the power unit might be top dog. And where does he live on this ship? Up here in the roof, okay. Alright. Fucking hell, this is not the quickest way to get to it. Nope. Okay, that's promising. So we can get that bulkhead out that easily. We might even just double it. Alright, and then we can just pull this bloke out here. Nice. So yeah, he's probably the next biggest thing. I guess maybe the control. The environmental control unit's probably worth a bit. I mean, there's the thrusters as well, but the order can change. That's interesting. We can just pull it straight out this wall pretty easily. I remember the glue system. No, not quite. No, okay, so you definitely have to... Oh, right, okay, so this whole wall seems... Look at that, that's insane. Well, that might be the best way to do it. So what did that unglue, though? It is going, isn't it? At least it's trying to go. And this is why we always get distracted by the front of this ship. Why don't you want to attach? Right, so that single piece in behind, you can see it there, is what was sort of causing that twisting action some problem. Interesting.
Your pressure level decreasing. Salvage destroyed. Please avoid damaging valuables.
Now if I cut that straight up, it'll crack the sads. If I go and remove all the coolant, which I guess we can salvage. Fuck, I hate that that's the same button. So that's not ideal. My bad. I was detaching for the skin, which is going in over there, which is good. Alright.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Things like this could probably just rip straight in, right? Unless they... Oh yeah, there you go to the barge. Yeah.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Like a rudder, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just pull the thrusters out this way. Don't they need to be isolated from the line? I'm pretty sure they do, right? Because of the way we pulled the reactor, there's no isolation. That's interesting. That's interesting, actually. It's treating the whole assembly. No? What's drifting apart then? I'm confused.
Got about 5 minutes left in this shift, Cutter. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Weaver out.
It just sprung apart, didn't it? That's better. Fuck. That thing came hard and fast. Yeah, so if you grab onto that... Okay, yeah, cool. So the assembly all the way up until there. Yeah, so it's still got active fuel in the lines. So I could run the isolation valves. I'm still certain that this burning... Remember this is a blast from the past, that burning out the purple block is cheating. Right? Otherwise, why on earth would you have an isolation valve? You know what I mean? Like, for example, I'll show you. Unless they've changed it. Hey! They've changed it! Well, I'm dead. Team, that is exciting. That's so exciting! Remember people would try and start fucking wars with me in the comment section? Oh no, you cut the purple thing. I'm like, bro, I am telling you, it is a glitch that you can cut that safely. Otherwise, why would you have an isolation handle right next to it? Oh man, there you go, validation. I even feel bad that I just died. Alright. But they're the main big ticket items, right?
Salvage destroyed. Don't do that.
Is that gonna spring apart? Any chance you wanna... No? Yeah, because they changed all the bullshit with the keel. See, they've made this keel hard attached. You bastards. Been watching too many speedrunner videos. That's the one thing I gotta wonder about. Like, I mean, good for them, I guess, but... And I suppose I don't speedrun, but I watch games done quick and all that sometimes. Oh, fuck me! What the fuck just happened then? We talk about this sort of spring-loaded weird physics system sometimes. Ah, whoops. But like, it strikes me that there's sort of like a sportsmanship to developers that have their game broken for a speedrun, just leaving the bug in. You know what I mean? And I sort of look at this and it strikes me as like you know, you have your, not that I'm saying I'm the one that they watch. I know there's plenty of other speedrunners out there that just play this game. I play this game occasionally, you know, but you come along and you're like, oh, that was my go-to strategy, and then they've gone and patched it out. And I guess I'm sort of comparing it to the speedrun thing. It's not like game's done quick. Hey, I can beat your game in 20 minutes through a shortcut. The devs don't go away and patch that out. You know what I mean? It's kind of a bit of a dick move. So yeah, I wonder where that sits. Is this not detaching? Make up your fucking mind, devs. This isn't detaching. Well, hang on. I'm getting different weight amounts. Anyway, so maybe you get my point, what I find curious about it all. Is, it kind of feels like we find out a clever path and then they just patch it out. And I'm like, oh, well, come on, that's a bit of a shit move. At what point are you just using community creators as fucking free QA? This can't be right. See that? 109963, 99 ton, 10 ton. There's something wrong here. Yeah, some bullshit shenanigans again. I'm not trying to bash on the devs, but it really does strike me that they're very reactive. And it's like, oh wow, someone found a fun and clever way to engage with our system. You know, the whole point of the game is to come up with clever ways to engage with the system. Let's patch it out. It's sort of like, what the fuck? Alright, we did alright, 4.5 million since we lost the thrusters. $1 million for the nanocarbon. Yeah, I just feel like nanocarbon's too highly priced. It's worth too much. It encourages these degenerates that like doing whole buffalo bullshit to do it. Like they should just be doing that because, you know, they have the compulsion to complete video game things. Not because, like, that's the incentive enough, if that makes sense. But I guess if you go and start making the nanocarbon panels worth too much, then your incentive becomes to do the whole buffalo. And it's sort of like, what is it? Because a lot in this game screams that that's not how you're supposed to do it, but the option's there if you want to as a secondary. Yeah, just a few thoughts there anyway. Yeah, I'd be curious what people have to say about that, what their thoughts are, especially about the devs almost like reactively plugging holes. So like, it is interesting. It's like, be careful what you wish for, because you don't want a game that's dead and the devs don't respond to anything for 2 years or whatever, right? But here we have an example of, it really does strike me that they react to the fastest, oh, we didn't expect that to happen. You know, they built this system and they want people to break it, and then people do lots of speed running and go and come up with something very clever, and then it seems like for whatever reason that's not what they wanted to happen, so they'll change a keel or something like that so you can't do it anymore, which I find a bit gross. And then also the fact that they've sort of, as we've said, they've made a lot of things a bit more baby mode because of community backlash, people whinging whenever they implement something hard, like the green boundaries now. We've talked about this as well, but my point is they do react quite quickly to the community, but it strikes me as like they almost react in the wrong ways. You know, they're patching out interesting things and they're patching out more difficult stuff for easier modes. Just an observation. I'm not bashing or anything like that. But as stated before, it feels a little bit, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, you got a dev that listens to everything you guys say, and you know, they're making it much easier and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's food for thought. What's my point? There is no point other than that we just think about these things too, and it's interesting. All right, well that was cool. We'll have to be careful with the thrusters. I'm so glad that the purple block's been patched though. I'll say that much. Fuck yes. Not that I ever cut it, like, other than 100 episodes ago. Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue sort of interrogating these ships, I suppose, moving forward. Thanks again for joining me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.